Higher education holds the promise of contributing to social equity, intellectual, cultural, economic and political development, and democracy and social justice. Institutions of higher learning potentially offer powerful opportunities for fostering the economic and social advancement of members of disadvantaged and marginalized social classes and groups, for promoting understanding of and respect for difference and diversity, and forging social cohesion.
Is the fact that the majority of our students, do not have in their possession the cultural capital that will facilitate for them access into the goods or epistemic access into whatever discipline they do. So I think
low retention rates and demographically skewed success rates indicate that for some, the university is not the place of empowerment we would want it to be. The promise of higher education often remains unrealized, and instead universities frequently continue to be a powerful mechanism of social exclusion and injustice through their own internal thinking, structures, cultures and practices, and through their external relations with wider society.
For universities to be places of empowerment for students, it is my belief that we must move away from mere physical access to epistemological access to the knowledge structures of the disciplines in which students are enrolled.
Attempts to understand and theorize this problem have largely comprised small-scale qualitative studies. This project will bring a large-scale, multi-method approach to the issue. The boundaries of the study are a concern with teaching and learning at public universities of all institutional types in South Africa.
The South African higher education system has a very high failure and dropout rate. This is partly because when we engaged with issues of student access, we did not engage in a more nuanced manner with issues of student success. This may have resulted in some students being socially excluded by the system.
The Centre for Higher Education Research, Teaching and Learning at Rhodes University launched its Social Inclusion Project in 2011. The project, funded through the National Research Foundation, investigates the ways in which disciplinary structures and their associated practices serve to include or exclude students in higher education in South Africa.
So in short, a university should be a place of growing, of developing, of flourishing, of really reaching your full potential, is in too many instances actually quite something different, and for many students experience is a place of social exclusion, of academic exclusion, and of frustrated dreams. So in this project we really want to understand the mechanisms whereby that exclusion is taking place.
This project brings together a team of 11 PhD scholars and researchers from 7 universities, each picking up one part of a study that together answers the research question: how do disciplinary knowledge and know structures and their associated practices serve to include or exclude students?
The exciting aspects of this social inclusion project is it links closely to the issue of epistemological access, how students get access to scientific knowledge, and what is it about our disciplinary practices, how we teach, how we structure our curriculum that might hinder that. And I think it's a real national challenge.
Understanding actually there that you are excluding those students from the powerful knowledge if you don't make the principles of those, the underlying principles of those knowledge structures explicit.
To see whether we can establish what is working and what is not, and what is including students and what is excluding.
The Social Inclusion Research Project takes a critical realist ontological position which argues that while there are multiple ways of experiencing events at the empirical level, there are intransitive mechanisms at the level of the real that the researcher has a duty to identify.
We have to realize is the university is in society. And of course, if there are huge inequalities and fantastic differences of learning opportunities among people in different communities, in different families.
The project team are calling on the work of social realist Margaret Archer to understand the interplay of mechanisms emerging in the realms of structure, culture, and agency.
Formal legal access is that the whole world of learning is changing. And I hope very much this is changing in a way that will be beneficial to them.
Most of the scholars are calling on the work of Bourdieu, Bernstein, and legitimation code theory to undertake detailed analyses of different knowledge and knower structures.
Varied and diverse set of knowers. And on the other hand, we have a very varied and diverse set of knowledges, forms of knowledges. And then what happens is the meeting of these two histories, these two sets of logics, these two very complex sets of principles coming together.
To consider how agency intersects with the constraints and enablements of structure and culture of teaching and learning contexts.
That it examines inclusion and exclusion of students in higher education through the ways in which new academics exercise agency.
In my case, the students are coming to us with the notion that physics is about equations and bits and pieces of information. So my study is helping me to understand how students are building knowledge cumulatively.
Within this project, my interest has been more on the dominance of the practical, tacit, mundane knowledge, which is context-bound, which cannot be applicable when the context changes.
Do these lecturers, who are all teaching the same group of students, make decisions on what to teach, how to teach it, and when to teach it? So it then becomes important that we have an understanding of the curriculum decisions that are made.
The main aim of this study is to map the knowledge in the knower structures of the admissions process to determine what knowledge and what kinds of knowers are being valued and thereby legitimated at the point of entry into this program. Thank you.